Good evening. It's October 21st, 2022, and we're here at South Portland High School for tonight's exciting Battle of the Bridge between the Riots of South Portland and your Portland Bulldogs. Steve Schwartz along with Dave Levine in the booth here tonight, and joined, as always this year, by Mike Hoffer from the Forecaster and the Press Herald. Mike, I want to first talk about South Portland. First of all, a great history. We love coming here. They had a great basketball season last season, so entertaining. J.P. Estrella going to Tennessee, but it's all about football now. They're tied for second with Crabtree points. They have one more win than Portland. Now, interestingly, in the last three games, Portland has outscored its opponents 120-33, and they've won three in a row. South Portland has outscored its opponents 76-7, and that's with two shutouts.
Yeah, I mean, both teams are really peaking at the same time. I mean, this rivalry goes back to 1907. They've been playing each other for a long time, and this is frankly the first time in many years that both teams are coming in playing this well. The last time both teams came into this game with a winning record was 2014, and really you've got to go back to the early 2000s or even the 90s where this much was at stake when you look at points and playoff standings and playoff positioning and all that. Just a terrific matchup and two teams that are peaking at the right time. South Portland's really, their turnaround has been led by their defense. They had back-to-back shutouts last week against a high-powered Scarborough team. They allowed one touchdown. So their defense is just firing on all cylinders, and offensively they've got this incredible weapon in quarterback Jalen Jackson, who last Saturday at Scarborough, all he did was rush for 254 yards and 3 touchdowns, throw for another touchdown on his 18th birthday, and he's going to be the engine that makes this team go. But Johnny Poole is a solid running back. He'll probably look for Nolan Hobbs a little bit through the air. Josh Sparacio is kind of the heart and soul of the team on both sides of the ball. So this Riots team is feeling really good coming into this game.
So Jackson was a member of the basketball team, which is really fun, and Poole was a member of the Little League team going back all the way that went down to Bristol, so they've got some real good athletes.
They do, and Johnny Poole was also part of the baseball team here at South Portland that won the first championship since 1952, not this past spring, but the year before. So a lot of these players have been in a lot of big games, not just in football, and I think they're really looking forward to the opportunity tonight.
Leave it to me to just end it at Little League, but Dave, when we were first approached this year by Coach J. Mack to do home games, we agreed to do it, but then it turns out that it's just such a fun, exciting team that we actually volunteered to come out here and do this game in South Portland.
Absolutely. This is going to be a great game. These two teams are both hitting on all cylinders right now, and really Portland is led by Kennedy Charles, the quarterback, and their turnaround started when he became the quarterback, and he's kind of their do-it-all guy. However, last week they didn't really need him. They rushed for 350 yards with 300-yard rushers, none of them named Kennedy Charles. So their team is really is doing great. Their defense is starting to pick it up as well, and this should be a fun game.
Folks are going to bring you all of the exciting action in a moment. In a moment, we've got a real treat, folks. Todd Angelis, the voice, really, of the Boston Bruins national anthem, the regular singer, is going to be singing the national anthem here tonight on senior night in South Portland.
G. Martin Memorial Field on the campus of South Portland High School for tonight's Class B football game between the visiting Bulldogs from Portland High and our very own Red Riots from South Portland High School. First, let's welcome the Portland Bulldogs. Team captains Gavin Bennett, Andrew Brewer, Kennedy Charles, and Sam Esposito. Head coach Jason McLeod. Assistant coaches Skip Capone, Mike Rutherford, Joe Johnson, John Williams, John Mishewich, Dylan Rotkoff, Ryan Edwards, and Rocco Navarro. And now let's make some noise for our South Portland Red Riots. Team captains Nolan Hobbs, Jalen Jackson, Paul Magawa, Johnny Poole, and Josh Sparacio. Head coach Aaron Filio. Assistant coaches Jason Cook, Rob Kierstead, Jim Clark, Chris Mims, Jason Perry, Nate Davis, Bob Ganley, Wayne Richards, Kyle Coburn, John Maloney, Jeremy DeWeese, and Caden Horton. Our officials, referee Fred LaMontagne, umpire Michael Donovan, linesman Ted Ross, line judge Will Lynch, and back judge Alex Start. The official timer is Dave Airy. Your music master is Rick Romano. And the certified athletic trainer on site is Dr. John Ryan. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, would you all please rise and remove your hats? Joining us tonight in the press box, we have a special guest. You may recognize him if you've ever gone to a game at TD Garden in Boston, where he's a bartender at the sports deck located on level 5. But before the games, he has a completely different job. Here tonight to sing the Star-Spangled Banner, the official anthem singer of the Boston Bruins, let's give a big Red Riot welcome to Todd Angeli.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched, who were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
So as we try to get our bearings here, Todd Livingston, the AD, has graciously given us booth space, which is really tremendous on this very nice night. It's a cool, beautiful evening here, and I guess it's early fall here.
So South Portland did win the toss, and they deferred to the second half. Portland will receive.
The kicker for South Portland will be number 19, Brady Demers. We've got 2 deep for Portland. It's a squib. It's picked up short at the 25, 30, 35.
Outside.
Outside, there's daylight on the right side.
Lewis Thornton picked that ball up at the 20-yard line, raced to the right side, followed his blockers way up the sideline, and just turned on the jets, brought it into South Portland territory. You couldn't ask for a better start for Portland's offense.
It's about a 40-yard return or thereabouts. And it'll be 1st and 10. The ball on the 47-yard line of South Portland. In the shotgun, Kennedy Charles. It's got one in motion. And it's, well, let's see.
Remy Jowani took that on on kind of that H-back sweep, kind of coming across the face of the quarterback. Tried to get outside, but the South Portland defense was ready for it and just picked up a couple short yards.
We haven't seen him really take many from scrimmage here in the games that we've been watching. He's been a great wideout, of course.
Yeah, he's tall and lanky and usually can go up for those 50-50 balls over the DB.
It is 2nd and 8. And a great hole
Oh, that was
Great effort by
beautiful cutback by Regan Buck. He was supposed to take that ball outside, and there was nothing doing out there. He quickly put on the brakes, cut back to his right, and went right up the gut. Picked up a nice first down for Portland.
And that was about an 8-yard gain. And it'll be 1st and 10 with the ball on the 37-yard line of South Portland. So Portland threatening here. His well up the middle. That looks like Brewer. We'll see.
Yeah, that way. Yeah, Brewer again took it. He had more room, but on the field was a little slick tonight when he tried to cut back. He lost his footing, but still big hole. Another 6-yard carry, and now you're sitting at second and reasonable for this offense.
We must say there's not really a kicking game for Portland, so they're just going to try to punch it in here, but it's a second down here. And Charles keeps it on the right. He finds daylight.
Yeah, again, he was supposed to come right off the right tackle, but South Portland collapsed the edge, and he was able to jump cut to the right again and just went downfield, followed Brewer with a nice block, and picked up about 15 yards.
So now it's 1st and 10 from the 15 as Portland threatens. Brewer's in the backfield with Charles. Charles is going to keep. He's got a hole in on that tackle. Was number 77, Josh Lemure.
Yeah, that was just a very simple power play right behind offensive guard Colin Kelly.
It's a 2-yard gain. And the ball on the 13-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 8. Charles will roll right. And broken up.
When he rolled out, he was starting to run out of real estate on the sideline and just tried to jump pass to try to complete it. It was a safe pass because there was a receiver there, but with very low risk of getting intercepted. But sometimes it's better just to throw it out of bounds and live to fight another day.
Well, on the incomplete pass, it'll be 3rd and 8 from the 13. And of course, this is for a territory where Portland's going to go for it. So
yeah, this is where they should probably try to pick up 4 or 5 yards to try to make it a 4th down that they can convert.
Charles takes the direct snap.
Big block on the corner.
Tries to get out, but he doesn't.
Yeah, that one way he took it way too wide. If he had come right up on the edge there, tight end came across the formation and just wiped out the whole end. And he could have probably come upfield a little bit more and picked up a couple more yards. But he was trying to use his speed to get outside, and South Portland has a lot of that to go along with his.
That was Ben Smith on the tackle for South Portland, and here we go now at 4th and 6th from the 11.
So Remy Jawani is one-on-one at the top of your screen. There is nobody near him except for the one South Portland defender. And they did get a jump. South Portland may have jumped on the hard count. That's not going to be enough for a 1st down, but it's going to be awfully, awfully close.
Right. I mean, it's going to be 4th and 1.
It was a smart play by Portland to try to run a hard count. I don't think they were going to snap that ball with any time anytime soon. They were going to try to draw them off the whole time.
And a much more manageable 1 yard now for the first down.
Yeah, now everything is back into play. You can go power with Brewer. You could use Kennedy Charles on the outside. You can do anything here.
I mean, it's 6 yards to the end zone. But 1 for the first down. Charles grabs it, and, well, we'll see if he's held or not. South Portland with a stop. Excellent defense by South Portland to hold the Bulldogs.
Yeah, that's not really Charles's forte. He's not a power back. That's the time when you want to give it to Buck or to McGowan or someone like that who's got a little bit more of a head start going forward and maybe just plow through the line and get the 1 yard.
Well, South Portland has some momentum here now as they grab the ball. They're deep in their own territory, though, as it'll be 1st and 10 from their own 6. We get a chance to see that explosive quarterback, Jalen Jackson, who can run, he can throw, really a tremendous athlete. And, of course, we saw him on the basketball court last year when we covered a couple of South Portland's games. And certainly a field general down there as well. So it's 1st and 10. And a gaggle of Portland players, but it took them to bring him down.
Yeah, that was Johnny Poole took the handoff there and picked up about 6 yards, which is a great pickup, especially when you're this deep in your end. And the South Portland offense is really built around some trickery back there, not knowing who's going to get the handoff. And then with Johnny Poole and Jalen Jackson and all the speed that they have back there, this is going to be tough for the defense.
So, let's see.
There's some movement up front.
We'll see. And it is going to be motion on South Portland. It'll be a 5-yard penalty. It'll be 2nd and 9. Ball will be on the 7-yard line.
Yeah, Jackson again cut it right upfield, right behind his right tackle and the tight end that was over there to pick up about 5 more yards. So now we're talking 3rd and 4. See if the Portland defense can stiffen a little bit.
Looks like they're holding up plays on the sideline or something. Visual, demonstrative evidence, we call that in the courtroom. Jackson to throw. Oh, a beautiful seam pattern right there, hitting number 2, Lucas Melhorn.
Yeah, he came right out of the slot. There was the coverage was soft on it, so he was able to come upfield and cut it into the middle and take an easy play.
First down.
So 13-yard gain.
Yeah, so the cards on the sideline are typically formation cards. They'll tell the offense where to line up formation-wise, and then they'll signal in what the play is out of that formation.
Well, here we go, 1st and 10. And it looks like it's going to be a night where we're going to have to wear our binoculars here, Dave.
Yeah, they're running on the far side of the field right now, and it's a long way away from where we are.
Jackson on the keeper.
Yeah, Jackson tried to again and kept it up the side, and he is going to be the focus of this offense. He carried for 150 some odd yards 250 some odd yards last week, and he just doesn't seem to ever get tired.
So it's 2nd and 8. This time it's a handoff up the middle.
Big hole up the middle.
Hole. Oh my God, that was saved by Aiden McGowan, or Poole would have broken free.
Yeah, straight up the middle. No one touched him on the line. The offensive line just blew out the defensive line, and he was running free.
That was a 19-yard gain for Poole off of that very big hole. Oh.
But there is holding on South Portland, so all of that beautiful run comes back for nothing. That might have been why he had such a big hole in the middle to run through. So they're going to back it up. The spot of the foul, it's going to be 10 yards from the spot of the foul. So the foul actually occurred 5 yards downfield. So they'll back it up from there, and it'll be 2nd and 15.
Jackson looks right. Whoa, what a hit. My goodness.
Yeah, Remy Giovanni came up and hit him hard, but he didn't go down. He's got to wrap that up, and that was a big hit. It's picked up about 5 yards or so on the play, but boy, oh boy, that could have been dangerous.
So, let's see, 3rd down. I think there's a conference of the officials. And there was a flag on the play.
Targeting.
Motion?
Penalties for an illegal formation.
Illegal formation. I would decline that, and they did. Bringing up 3rd and very long.
3rd and 11. The Riot 24-yard line.
So no gain. And the penalty, in fact. Third and 11, the ball on the 24. Jackson rolling left. He's looking deep. Now, there is no flag on that play.
There was contact, but that ball was easily 10 yards overthrown. So it's an uncatchable ball in the eyes of the referees. So that's why there was no penalty. There was contact. There was a hold there, but the ball was very, very long.
There you go. And now set to punt will be number 44. And I'm always very partial to 44, Josh Baraccio. The number 44, that was Jack Schwartz's lacrosse number for Portland High School for many years. So anytime I see a 44 just about anywhere, it's pretty happy. High snap. He gets it off. It's going to travel, take a Portland bounce rather, doesn't quite make it to midfield.
Down the ball at their own 46-yard line.
So the Dogs will take over 1st and 10 from their own 40, from the 46-yard line.
Yeah. So basically, after the long run back and a short drive that ended up in a turnover and downs, Portland holds and gets the ball back exactly where they had it before.
So here we go. Charles will hand off to Buck. Buck on the outside, he looks for some daylight, and he is going to get about a 7-8 yard gain out of that.
Yeah, Bucky just used his speed to outrun everybody to the corner. Portland did motion a tight end to that side to try to hold the line a little bit, and it did succeed. He was able to take his speed, get around the corner, and pick up 8 solid yards.
So it'll be 2nd and 2. The ball on the 38-yard line of South Portland.
Yeah, Portland really needs to do something with this drive. They have a lot of players that are playing both ways in this game, and if they don't put up a lead early, they're going to start to wear down a little bit.
Oh, play action here.
Oh, bad. Underthrown.
Intercepted. South Portland with an interception.
Yeah, that ball was very, very underthrown. He was throwing into double coverage. Receiver was deep, but he just didn't have the arm strength to get it out there enough, and laid it up too high.
Melhorn intercepts, is brought down after a short gain by Braden Wales, and it's South Portland ball.
Yeah, sometimes you have to read the defense and just see that there was double coverage there, and unless you throw that ball perfectly, it's not going to be a catch. So sometimes you either pull it down or throw it out of bounds, or find your secondary receiver.
1st and 10 Riots, and taken down for no gain or a possible loss is Melhorn.
Yeah, they just ran a straight read option there, and Portland had both the directions covered. They had both the quarterback and running back all bottled up there.
Gets credit for 1 yard, Melhorn, so it'll be 2nd and 9. Ball on the 31-yard line. One in motion. A deep pass and incomplete. Nice pressure there, but I dare say that Hunter Temple was beaten.
Yes, he was. Hunter Temple was clearly beaten on the throw. The ball was right there, but his makeup speed was able to get there. And when he went in to go for the tackle, he did the exact right thing, and he swiped at the ball. The ball came out, and it was an incomplete pass. That was a beautiful throw.
Yeah, and a great play by Temple, as I think it was meant for Ben Smith. It'll be 3rd and 9. Ball on the 31. Jackson in the gun, fakes it and goes over the middle. Oh my goodness. Very difficult to bring down Nolan Hobbs, whose name we haven't called yet tonight.
No, came out of the tight end position, ran a seam route, and then just took off downfield and carried Remy Jowani for about 15 extra yards there. Sometimes with those big kids, you're going to have to go a little bit lower and try to wrap up the legs. No one can run when their legs are tied up. And Wani is a big kid, but not big enough to stop that.
But a 22-yard gain. Here we go, rolling right. I'm finding a little bit of space here. Let's see if he gained a couple, it looks like.
Forced out of bounds by Charles.
Yeah, Brody Viola chased him down as best he could, prevented that from forcing. He really forced Jackson to stay wide and not cut it upfield. Even though he didn't make the tackle, he actually made the play and kept that to a relatively short gain. But that was an interesting formation by South Portland. They put two big fullbacks or tight ends in the backfield there, and they ran right behind it.
2nd and 7 from the 35. Goodness.
Johnny Poole on the run.
Yeah, Andrew Brewer just got a foot on Johnny Poole there, or else Johnny was off to the races. It looked like Portland had that all bottled up, but they let him slip through.
Yeah, so Portland's going to get the first down and more.
Yeah, they just ran a power quarterback sneak, and that offensive line just blew out the defenders there, and that size difference on the line is really starting to come into play now. It's going to force Portland to bring in a linebacker or bring up a linebacker a little bit, which is going to open up the field downfield for the pass.
About a 13-yard gain for Jackson. 1st and 10. Ball on the 16. South Portland threatens right now. One in motion. And for emphasis, the tackle is made by Colin Kelly.
Yeah, it's Colin Kelly again. Wasn't fooled by the play action fake there, and he just grabbed the running back and threw him down.
We're in the last 33 seconds of the first quarter. The score right now is 0-0. Jackson.
Oh, beautiful throw.
He is unbelievable. That
wow.
Very, very good. Just shy of the goal line.
Yeah, that was beautiful. He rolled out to now he's a right-handed thrower, rolling out to his left, throwing across his body, and just threw a strike down to the goal line.
1st and goal.
So as they move the chains, there are 2 seconds left. And so they'll come the other way here. At the end of the first quarter, the score, South Portland 0, Portland 0. So we are back. 1st and goal for the Red Riots. And they're just going to try to push it over, and they do.
Yeah, not much you can do there when you have that much beef up front. Portland's defensive line is a little bit small for those types of plays to try to get that kind of stop. The only hope is to kind of shoot a gap, and that just didn't happen.
So Jackson on the keeper. And now for the extra point.
Ooh, Brady Demers' kick was blocked.
Extra point is
It looks like Kennedy Charles actually might have gotten through.
South Portland 6.
Well, we'll see what that means as we'll come back here in a moment. The score is 6-0 South Portland. We're just 3 seconds into the second quarter. So certainly a momentum switch here as Portland came out firing, ready to go. They had the turnover. And now South Portland will kick off.
Yeah, a couple big chunk plays for South Portland really was what did it. The long pass down to the goal line. There was a 15 yards on a quarterback keeper. Another scramble by Johnny Poole, and that drive looked easy for them.
The ball gets kicked off from the 40. It's a long kick. Oh, it's muffed down at the 5. Oh, goodness gracious. On the cut was Charles. He lost the ball. We'll see what happens here.
Yeah, I think the ground caused that fumble. He was trying to cut back, lost his footing, went down, and it was a good thing he went down because that defender was coming flying at him.
Well, this is a natural grass field here at South Portland, which is something that the Dogs don't play on nearly as much.
No.
It's a beautiful field down here on a
field
great
looks
campus.
it looks like the field's in fantastic shape for this time of year. Especially in Maine, you typically don't see grass fields last this long, but this one's been well taken care of.
1st and 10, ball on the 20. Charles will keep. Finds a hole. Here he goes, folks, on the sideline. He's got 3 to beat. My goodness, all the way down to the 28-yard line.
Yeah, he weaved his way through the line, and then once he got outside, it's his speed. And there's very few people on this field that are as fast as him. The angle for the defender got him, but he was motoring down that sideline.
That's a 52-yard gain.
Yeah, that's the kind
of Charles.
That's the kind of play Portland needs to really change the momentum, to really get upfield. and see what they can do from here. See if they can build off of that play.
1st and 10 from the South Portland 28. And here comes Buck on the right side. 3 Riots there to meet him, including Lucas Melhorn and Matthew Berry.
Yeah, good pickup around the side there. He picked up about 6 yards with a little trickery in the backfield. You didn't know who was going to get that ball, and Buck came out of it and was able to come upfield.
So it's going to be 2nd and 5, actually. You'll get credit for a 5-yard gain. Ball's on the 23. Charles in the gun. Brewer up the middle. Big hole. And here he goes. Touchdown.
Yeah, they just went power right there. Brewer, that's the play I was hoping they would run on 4th and 1. And Brewer just followed the right side of that offensive line. And once he got moving, the defensive back was not going to be able to tackle him.
Now, of course, the score is tied 6-6, and if history is a guide, the Dogs will go for 2 here.
So this is, Portland does not carry a kicker, so they always go for 2 no matter what. So they have a playbook full of these types of plays for this situation.
Charles has the ball, hands it off.
Halfback pass back to Charles, but that's not going anywhere.
Yeah, South Portland wasn't fooled, and that was an excellent play and a good read by Jeremy Vata, or Veda.
We are tied at 6.
And it is 6-6 with 10:34 left in the second quarter. Ready for the kickoff, Dave? You really spoke of during the break.
Yeah,
who developed that great
So that
stuff?
was supposed to be a design quarterback or a halfback pass back to the quarterback, but Josh Lemure, who is the defensive tackle, came busting through the line and just forced that throw coming across the field. Instead of to be rifled across and hopefully get Charles in some space, it floated. And when you float the ball across, the defense has a lot of time to react to it.
So the lefty kicker is Kennedy Charles here.
Went on sides, and it looks like
recover.
Portland may have recovered it, and they did.
do.
Risky play, but a very impressive onside kick. Kennedy Charles just squibbed it right in front of him, and he was able to charge up the field, and you don't usually see that. You usually see it go wide and hope for your skill players to get it. But when your skill player is the kicker, you may as well try it right up the middle like that, and it worked beautifully. That's the momentum that Portland needed. They had a couple big runs, got the touchdown. Now they get the ball right back on South Portland side of the field.
Well, we don't have replay capability, but you do, folks. When you're watching this on WPPS TV3 or on YouTube, take another look at that play. 1st and 10, ball on the 45. Well, we're going to, let's see. Oh.
Hope they could back it up 1 yard. Better get it right now.
That 1 yard might mean it all down the road here. But it is Portland ball, 1st and 10. Charles hands off to Brewer, and a nifty play closing up the middle is number 44, Josh Sparacchio.
Backfield by Sparatio.
Yeah, Sparatio just threw off his block and was able to meet Brewer in the hole, and nothing happened there. No gain or maybe a loss of a yard.
Yeah, indeed it is. 2nd and 11. The ball on the 40. Let's see, they mark it as a 1 yard loss. Charles tries to get around. Boy, he is fast, and he is good, and he's on the right side.
Yeah, there's a flag in the backfield. I think that's going to come back for holding. I think the tight end grabbed the defender on the edge.
Melhorn may stop that from being a touchdown, but we'll see what happens here as it's going to get walked back.
Yeah, so the problem with that play is you have your tight end trying to block out a little bit and down the field, and when Charles bounced it outside, he was just caught in no man's land and couldn't let go of the hold that he had on the inside, and that just prevented that just really opened up the hole for the big play.
It'll be 2nd and 20 now. Ball on about the 44-yard line of Portland. A lot of chunk yardage here to get. Charles looks for, Buck, but brought down with very little gain once again. Actually, Jalen Jackson on defense.
Yep. It was a nice little thought to get the ball into Buck's hands real quick with just a flick down the field, but you're not going to outrun Jackson on that play.
It was a 4-yard pass.
Yeah, I think they were just trying to pick up some reasonable yardage there to try to maybe pick up 6 or 8 yards just to make your third down play a little bit easier. But this is you have very few plays in your playbook for this.
3rd and 16, ball on the 48. Charles will go up the middle. Never count him out. On the left side, he's going to score, folks.
No flags on the field. They just ran left guard that time. He cut up the hole, and I think the offensive line was able to get out to the linebackers and tie everybody up, and he made a couple guys miss and then use that speed again to go downfield.
I think that's a 52-yard touchdown. That's his second 52-yard run of this half.
So we talked about the game last week where they didn't really need Kennedy Charles to do anything. They were able to get production out of Buck and Brewer and the rest of the running back crew. This time it's all about Kennedy Charles.
So the Dogs will try to punch it in from the 2. And here's Buck looking for daylight on the right side, and he's stopped. So
he's in.
Oh, he is in.
He's in.
Yes, he is.
He's in.
Excuse me, I was looking at the post. He did make it in.
Yeah, it was again. They just ran him right across the face of the quarterback, handed it off to him in stride, and they just used Buck's speed to get the corner and get the touchdown or get the conversion, and that puts us back on pace. 14-6 Portland with 8:40 left to go in the second quarter.
So 2 very quick scores for the Bulldogs have them enjoying an 8-point lead right now, 14-6, with 8:40 left here in the first half.
Yeah, all the momentum right now is on their side. After that long drive to score to tie the game, essentially, they went with the onside kick to try to surprise South Portland. They recovered it, and a couple plays later, they were able to punch it in.
And there's an end-over-end kick, one of the first ones we've seen this year, actually. A nice return.
Yeah, Charles usually squibs it down the field, but he got under that one, hoping that his coverage team could cover a little bit. South Portland was able to bring it out to the 35, which is great starting field position for them.
Ball is returned to the 35-yard line.
And that's where they'll start. 1st and 10 from the 35. 8:33 left here in the first half. We have a flag.
We have a flag.
So Portland is apoplectic as Coach J-Mac goes out to talk to the officials.
I'm not sure what the flag was. South Portland was huddling on the sideline, and Portland was just hanging out in the field, ready for them to come out.
Well, we'll have to see. Of course, we don't have any microphones, so on the referees.
Sideline warning for the
They gave him a sideline warning that time. They did not. They picked up the flag. It was more of a warning to the sideline. So it's not a penalty, but the next time it will be a 15-yard unsportsmanlike conduct.
Okay, 1st and 10, 35. Jackson in the gun. He's got one in motion. He rolls right. A lot of pressure. Oh, almost an acrobatic catch on the other side by Nolan Hobbs.
Wow, Nolan Hobbs went way up to try to get that, and it just bounced off his hand. If he had slightly bigger fingers, he was going to come down with a spectacular catch, but that was a fantastic effort. It was good pressure by the defensive line to force a little fadeaway throw. And usually when the quarterback has to fade away, the ball tends to sail high a little bit.
Second and 10 from the 35. Jackson keeps it and doesn't get very far as tremendous effort once again.
Braden Wales had him by the ankles and wasn't going to let go.
And Colin Kelly up top.
Colin Kelly, again, we're calling his name quite a bit.
gain of 4.
It is a 4-yard gain. It'll be 3rd and 6 from the 39. Jackson keeps it. Once again, great defense by the Dogs. And that time, they're led by number 70, Isaac Alkafaji.
Yeah, Gavin Bennett also was right in there. He made the first hit and forced Jackson to come inside on that. And there was just nothing there. The Portland defense held strong. And now we're looking at an interesting play here by South Portland. They're sitting on their side of the field. They're down a touchdown with about 7 minutes to go in the half. And they're facing a 4th and 3. They're going to line up at least to look to go for it.
We'll see what happens on the line.
And they call timeout to talk about it. That was probably one of those things where they might have tried to draw Portland off sides, but they really didn't even try that.
6:43 left in the first half. The score 14-6, Dogs in front.
So South Portland did change their mind. They are going to bring out the punt crew here. I think this is probably the smart play. You don't want to give Portland the ball on the plus side of the field with all the momentum.
A little bit of pressure, a high kick, a nice punt. But taken by Remy Jowani. And he's got 10, 15, 20. About a 20-yard return.
Yeah, that's a good return by Remy Joe. The pressure was good to force, but it was a beautiful punt. That high punt kind of outkicked the coverage a little bit and gave Wani a little bit of room to maneuver, and he was able to get outside, come up the left sideline, and bring it out to the 43-yard line. Again, great field position for Portland here.
So here we go, 1st and 10 from their own 43, Portland. Buck in motion. Charles on the right side. Well, he's going to gain about 5 or 6 on that. one of the interesting things that we're noticing is Brody Viola, number 81, lines up and then shifts. What's happening there, Dave?
So what they're trying to do is they're trying to set or see. Sometimes what you're doing is when you put somebody in motion and come set, you're trying to see what the defense is doing. If a person will come with them across the formation, it indicates man. If somebody doesn't come across the formation, it'll indicate a zone defense. Sometimes you're just looking to try to off-balance the defensive line so you can run behind it. Or in that case, you're putting a lot of weight on the other side. Move a person in motion on that side, run buck across the formation that way, and then bring it back as trying to run away from the defense.
Looks like a timeout. We'll take one, too. So, 5:46 left here. 2nd and 5, ball on the 48. Ball comes out of the timeout. Charles will follow his blockers. And reaches, tries to get the first down, but it looks like he stepped out first.
Yeah, he did step out, but he made the best of a bad situation there. South Portland had everybody on that side of the field. He tried to follow Brewer up the field a little bit. Was able to pick up a handful of yards.
Yeah, 4 yards. I mean,
it's more than what I thought he could get.
It's going to be 3rd and, or he picked up 3. It's going to be 3rd and 2. Ball on the 49 rather.
Yeah, I would expect Portland to look at this as 2-down territory as well. So you got 2 tight ends to the bottom, and you're going to run Charles to the other side. So they overloaded the right side of the line and ran left. And that's they did the same thing there without the motion that I was talking about before.
And it's a 5-yard gain.
Again, that was a play that they were looking for. They were going to look for 2-down territory. They brought in Anthony Leroy as a second tight end to the right side and then ran completely the other direction.
1st and 10, ball on the 44. 5 minutes, 20 seconds left in the first half. Dogs in front, 14-6. Buck grabs it on the right side. He sees a hole, cuts the other way, and makes something out of nothing, Dave.
Yeah, he was again supposed to go way outside to the sideline. South Portland got out there and funneled him back in. He was able to at least see that cut up field, and he picked up 5 yards, which was a very impressive run for Buck.
So it'll be 2nd and 5, ball on the 39.
Yeah, this is where Portland wants to chew up a lot of time. They want to score here, but they don't want to leave South Portland any time, and they want to go in to the half up hopefully 2 touchdowns.
Charles with Brewer next to him. Brewer, behind. Buck grabs the ball and again making something out of nothing, close to the first down. He's going to...
Yeah, that's a wide receiver. That's really a wide receiver screen that wasn't thrown very well, so Buck had to run back to catch it. I thought for a second he was going to look to throw downfield, but he took off and was able to get 4 yards out of it, leaving it 3rd and short.
So the Portland Bulldogs on the move. They've got just under 4 minutes to try to make something happen here before the half.
Yeah, again, clock is still moving. They've got plenty of time. They still have 2 more timeouts, so there's nothing with the clock that they have to worry about. They just don't want to leave anything for South Portland here.
Charles will hand off to Brewer. A nice tackle there.
Yeah, all he needed was 1 yard. He got 3. And that's enough to move the chains, keep the clock moving, and give the Dogs another first down.
Stop was made by the punter, Joshua Sparacchio, who wears many hats for the Riots.
He's a punter. He's a linebacker. He's a fullback tight end. He's an all-around player for them.
So 1st and 10, ball on the 33. Charles keeps. Goes around one, finds a hole. Oh my goodness! And actually driven through the hole by 3 Riots.
Yeah, that looked like it was a mess from the start. There was nothing there, but he danced and danced and danced and was able to cut up. And once he started moving upfield, the only players to tackle him were behind him already. So they actually drove him forward for an additional 3 yards.
So he got a 7-yard gain out of that, and it'll be 2nd and 3 from the 26.
Right, they had him bottled up for maybe a 1 or 2 yard gain, and that was it. But Charles is just so elusive in the backfield, was able to avoid everybody and pick up good yardage.
Keeps it again. Goes up the middle, follows his blockers. A nice defensive effort by several Riots.
Yeah, that was just meant to hopefully get a first down. He picked up about 1.5 yards, got about halfway there. But again, being 4 down territory for the Bulldogs, that's not a worry. They still have 1:48, so time is still. They've still got plenty of time to do this. If they do get a first down here, the clock will stop temporarily. Then they're going to have to start picking up the pace.
That'll be Brady Haynes on the stop for the Riots. 3rd and 2.
Brewer.
Yeah, and he's
pushing and pushing and
fight
pushing
for that, and it's going to be very close, but I think short.
Nope, I think they're going to give it to him.
Yeah,
he just got across. So the clock is stopped with 1:24 to go in the half. Portland now gets a new set of downs, and they're going to have to start picking up the pace here and try to get into the end zone quicker.
Well, they scored their 2 touchdowns that they did score were all scored within the matter of really 2 minutes. So what they need to do here is something similar, as there's 1:15 left. 1st and 10. The ball's on the 22. Charles looks to throw into the corner. And that is Remy Giovanni, and it looks like it was we'll see. Indication is an interception.
Incomplete. I think they were both battling for the ball. Wani looked like he was going to come down with it. The defender way over there, I couldn't quite see who it was.
That was number 7, Veda. I'm not sure if we pronounce it Veda or Vada. It's Vada.
So he made a great play to knock that ball out of Remy Giovanni's hands and came down to the ground. So they both were kind of playing offense at one point, and they were both kind of playing defense to make that play.
58 seconds left here in the first half. 2nd and 10. The ball's on the 22.
That's really the first shot play that Portland has taken. After all that running, why not take a pass?
This time they'll go with what brought him there on the reverse. As Buck hands it off to Temple. Temple's on the right side.
Yeah, tried a little razzle-dazzle to get up the field. Buck came across, handed it back, and they went full reverse to Temple. He was able to get about 4 yards on that and get out of bounds, so it does stop the clock with 49 seconds. Got him a little bit of yardage, so now they're looking at 3rd and 6.
If South Portland can stop, it's going to be a very big stop going into the locker room.
Absolutely. All the momentum right now is on the Portland side of the field. Two big drives in this quarter to score, and this is a very long drive for them. They've already taken about 4.5 minutes off the clock from when they got the ball, and they moved it all the way down to the South Portland 16, 17-yard line. And we're going to have a timeout from South Portland.
We'll take one, too. So we made a little switch with batteries here. I think we're good to go, Dave. 3rd and 6. We'll see what Portland's got up their sleeve here. There's a whistle. Not sure why. Remy Giovanni is going to get off the field.
Oh, it could be an equipment thing, either something with his helmet or mouth guard or something.
He'll be replaced by John Martin, number 14. He'll line up wide right, along with Buck. And we have a whistle.
Yeah, that was a false start on Portland. They got a little overly aggressive on that play, and that's going to back them up to 3rd and 10 instead of a 3rd and 5, and that's going to hurt. That's going to hurt. Really, this offense isn't built for that kind of play. They're meant for big plays, but it usually comes in the run game if you can break a tackle and get upfield. So coming out of a timeout, you don't want to do things like that. You don't want to put yourself behind the yard markers here.
So Charles will keep, goes left. Great penetration by Jalen Jackson.
Yeah, Jackson read that keeper from the beginning and just shot the gap upfield, and there was nothing that Charles could do there. Stayed in bounds. The clock is running. I'm kind of surprised South Portland isn't taking a timeout. Portland will be just happy to let the clock run down as low as it can go before either calling timeout or punting. And it looks like they'll be able to run out the clock here.
That being said, it'll be 14-6 as the teams head into the locker room.
No, not yet. Hail Mary.
Nope, 3 seconds.
3 seconds.
So with fourth and a bundle here, I wouldn't risk punting the ball. Here I would give it to Charles, let him run around for 3 seconds, and then fall down. You don't want to fumble. You don't want to give this ball up. You don't want to risk any kind of turnover. So whatever this run is, you better put 2 hands on the ball and not lose it.
They have a couple things before the cheerleaders.
Yes. No worries. She wants me warm in here.
We'll take our time.
It didn't work last time, and I was like, oh,
So with 3.1 seconds, there's not much Portland can do. They could try to throw one to the end zone. If you want to risk doing that, that's okay, as long as you don't give up that big return. A Hail Mary is perfectly fine from this distance. You do have Charles who can run around. You just don't want him to give up anything that can be returned.
Well, we'll see what the Portland coaching staff has drawn up, or if they're going to be satisfied to just head in. Okay. Charles is going to go for it. Touchdown, Portland!
They just went with a go pattern.
Remy Joe Wani.
Wani just ran a go pattern. There was a safety over the top, but he got past both of them, which is awfully surprising for the South Portland defense. The whole idea is don't let anyone past you. There's only 3 seconds. Nothing bad can happen if you keep it in front. Wani just went up, and that was a beautiful throw from Charles for a quick touchdown at the end of the quarter, and that's going to be huge for Portland going into halftime.
Well, and there's no time left, but they get a chance to convert. They're going to try to make the 2-point conversion here. It's 20-6 Portland right now. Brewer is behind Charles. And Charles is going to try to take it in.
Yeah, that was the time. That was the time where you probably should have just handed it to Brewer up the middle. He could have gotten the yardage and gone in. They keep trying to go wide with that, and I think South Portland's starting to see that.
So, folks, we're going to take a break here at halftime. The score, Portland Bulldogs 20, South Portland Red Riots 6.
Robert B. Ganley Award. Mr. Ganley served as the Assistant City Manager in South Portland from 1976 to 1981 and as a City Manager through 1986. Then he became City Manager in Portland, where he held that position until his passing in 2000. In his position and as a sports enthusiast, he recognized the need for the Portland and South Portland communities to work together. Whether it was South Portland lending Portland its bleachers to assist in the opening of Hadlock Field, or Portland assisting South Portland with equipment and manpower to clear snow from Martin Memorial Field during the 1997 Western Maine football final, Bob took the risk necessary to get the job done. Mr. Ganley will be remembered for having a love and dedication to the game of football and to his children. This award seeks to honor a recipient or recipients who have supported football and athletics in their respective communities. This year, we are pleased to introduce Sue Borelli, who will present the 21st Annual Robert B. Ganley Award. This year's recipient of the Ganley Award is the longtime South Portland Recreation Manager of Outdoor Athletic Facilities, Rick Peruzzi. Rick is a 1992 graduate of South Portland High School and member of the boys basketball 1992 state championship team, has been with South Portland's park and rec industry since 1994. He has worked in all areas of maintenance in Parks and Rec, and then in 2000 became the sports field manager for the city's Wainwright Recreation Complex. Then in 2017 he became the recreation manager of outdoor athletic facilities, overseeing the scheduling and maintenance of the Wainwright Complex, school athletic fields, and the municipal golf course. He is a certified sports field manager through Sports Field Managers Association, and a certified park and rec professional through the National Recreation and Park Association. Well, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in congratulating Quarterback Club for their many years of congratulating Mr. Peruzzi for his many years of dedication and contributions to the South Portland community, athletic department, and football program.
So we're joined by Mike Hoffer at the half. The score is 20-6. Now, Mike, for the Press Herald this week, I noticed that you did pick Portland to win. Only one of your cohorts picked South Portland. Had it not been for that little snafu last week, you would have been tied with Steve Craig.
Yeah, isn't that typical that that's the way it plays out? But, you know, my goal going into this every year is to not finish last, so at least I'm on target for that.
I think you're actually on target right now to almost tied for first. But what a great first half. Very interesting. Portland really, they started strong. They were stopped, and boy, they came on with those two important touchdowns within a couple of minutes of each other towards the end, actually 3.
Yeah, I mean, I think South Portland had to be feeling great. They had the interception, they go in for the first score, and then boom, Kennedy Charles started doing Kennedy Charles things, and, you know, clearly the fact that he didn't have to do a lot of the workload last week has paid off because he's running wild right now. 12 carries, 148 yards, the touchdown, and then, I mean, the backbreaker was that play at the end of the half. I know South Portland, they have been coached. You get back, no one gets behind you on a play like that. Remy Jawani got behind the defense and hauls in the touchdown pass. So Portland's got to be feeling really good right now, up 20-6 instead of 14-6, which is probably what it should have been.
Well, you know, Dave, you had mentioned right after the camera went off that is exactly what you don't want to do, is to get a player behind you in something like that. What does South Portland have to do to come back here in the second half and make this a contest?
Well, really, they've got to stop the big play. Kennedy Charles is just going crazy out there and making plays with his feet, making people miss at the line of scrimmage. Really, South Portland has to get a couple guys up closer and really don't let the first guy doesn't have to make the tackle. Slow him down and let your team rally to you and try to get those stops. They've got to stop those big plays. They have a dynamic quarterback of their own, but the Portland defense is really coming to play today, and they haven't really let anything happen bad for them.
Folks, at the end of the first half, it's 20-6 at the Battle of the Bridge. We'll be back with second half action in a moment. Here we go with second half action here about momentarily, as South Portland had deferred and will receive. And deep back for South Portland is number 11, Matthew Berry.
So on this, from the South Portland point of view, they had to be a little deflated going into the half. So let's see how they respond. This drive is going to be indicative of probably in the entire second half of their play. If they come out strong, we expect a good game. But
yeah, I was wrong about who was deep too for them. It looks like number 12 is back deep for them, and that's Easton Healy.
And that's a false start on Portland, so that's going to back them up. Yeah, it's going to back them up 5 yards. So they just didn't get set for this. And this is not a good way to start the half with all that momentum, with all that was going right for you. A simple play like a kickoff, you can't give up 5 yards. They don't really have a strong. Kennedy Charles isn't that strong of a kicker, so he's not going to put it to end zone line. So every 5 yards is going to count.
So it takes a kind of a Portland decided.
Yeah, it went out of bounds, so that's going to be a penalty and bring the ball out to the 35-yard line.
That's unfortunate. You can do it on a punt, but not on a kickoff.
So that'll bring the ball out to the 40. I misspoke. So that is a big penalty. You want to kick that down. If you want to kick off like that, you have to kick it down the middle of the field and let it bounce where nobody is. In that case, it went over to the sideline, bounced out of bounds. South Portland just let it roll out of bounds. And that's 2 penalties right off the bat for Portland.
Both on special teams, which certainly is not their specialty.
No, it is not.
South Portland will take over first and 10 on their own 40.
The offense is on the sideline here. They're getting ready to call a few plays. Jackson will line up, probably in the gun as he's been all night.
Yeah, the only one time he came under center was for that quarterback sneak on 3rd and 1 where he actually was able to run for 15 yards. Every other time has been out of the shotgun.
This time he hands off and, again, getting a little something out of nothing is Poole.
Yeah, Poole should have been stopped for a 2-yard loss there, but was able to squirm his way out and actually get a couple yards positive play. That's a 3-yard gain. So that's an important couple yards for him. But he is so elusive, so he's able to get through those small little spaces very easily.
2nd and 7, ball on the 43.
So they go empty and now move 2 people in motion. Still empty.
Jackson a throw and a little too far.
Jackson's pass intended for Melville.
Yeah, Braden Wales was in perfect position there for the pass that was overthrown. I think he saw that it was going to hope for the one-on-one coverage, but it was just too strong, and he just threw it away.
Third down, 7. Ball on the 43. Jackson back to throw again. A nice catch by Melhorn.
Yeah, they've run that play 3 or 4 times now for a first down. That's wide open. The coverage is soft on that side, and it's very easy for the wide receiver to get the leverage that he needs. Hit hard after the catch, but that's still enough for a first down. You got to play a little bit tighter on those on 3rd and 7. You can't give up a 10-yard cushion.
And that's exactly what happened. 10 yards. So it'll be 1st and 10 from the 47 now. 1 in motion. Jackson tries to follow. He bounces off of 1. Well, and it takes 2 Bulldogs to bring him down as he gets the first down and more.
Yeah, you don't think of Jackson as a power runner, but right there he showed what he can do. Once he got hit, he really lowered his head and kept on driving downfield and picked up a couple extra yards on that. Portland has to be careful here that they can't play too soft. They can't let some of these chunk plays happen. They have to use all that momentum that they have and come back out and play strong here.
14-yard gain. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 33. As South Portland is on the march. There's a flag in the backfield as Poole had a few yards. We'll see what happens, though.
Yeah, usually a flag in the backfield is a hold on the offensive line somewhere.
And it was.
Without the benefit of replay, I can't name a player, and I'm not going to name an offensive lineman because they're near and dear to my heart.
And well, they should be, Mr. Ben Levine. Playing for Carleton College, and they are leading the nation in offense still. They're 6-0, the D3 powerhouse, and perhaps soon to be ranked.
Yeah, they got a couple votes this week for the top 25 in the D3 poll. So hopefully, if they can come out next week. They can come out next week or this weekend and beat Concordia Moorhead. They could possibly be ranked in the top 25 for D3, and that's exciting for a small 2,000 student school.
And you went out there. You were there. Was it 2 weeks ago?
We went out this past weekend. We went out.
Right.
For homecoming. They played a great game. They were up big at the half. They pulled all their starters, got everybody a chance to play in the second half, and they were able to win another game. Made it look a little bit easy for this one, and the team is very excited. They're playing great football. Their quarterback is outstanding this year, and they've got a really balanced team now.
So Jackson way back looking for somebody open and nothing there. Yeah, there's a hold.
Yeah, he didn't need to do that. He didn't look back for the ball quick enough. I mean, Aiden McGowan was right there in good coverage, but he didn't look back, and if he had seen that the ball was that far underthrown, he didn't have to touch anything. He was in great position for that, and just got a little over aggressive. And when you're talking, that long of a pass, he has to be a little bit more careful with that.
Let's see where the spot is going to be.
So they're going to move that up 15.
So it was 2nd and 21.
Yeah, that's a big penalty. They had a 2nd and 21. It was going to be 3rd and 21, which is great position for this defense. But instead, you get pass interference, which moves it down. Now it's going to be 2nd and should be 1st and 10.
Well, they've got 3rd and 6 here from the 29 on the scoreboard.
And it's 2nd down on the sideline because
Yes.
it will replay the down.
Right.
But usually I thought pass interference comes with an automatic first down. I guess not in high school.
Jackson back to throw. And a nifty completion there to who else but Melhorn, certainly his favorite receiver tonight.
Yeah, they're starting to go up into the air a little bit more, become a little bit more balanced, and this is a little bit more tricky for the Portland defense to cover. They're very strong in that run game, but their pass defense is a little bit weaker when you bring all those linebackers up. So this is a very strong play for South Portland to start going to the pass, and that was beautiful. On the run, he threw a strike down the sideline.
Well, we're going to see how Portland's pass defense gets engaged. It's first and 10, ball on the 12. This time, he rolls left. Off the fingertips of the open receiver.
Yeah, he ran a deep square out and had the opening, had pushed upfield, got good leverage on the defensive back, cut to the outside, and the throw was just a hair high, but certainly very nice play design again. And that's just showing that South Portland is willing to put the ball up in the air, something they really didn't do in the first half.
I think that was meant from McCoy Murphy. Second and 10, ball on the 12. 9:46 left here in the third quarter. 26 is the score. Portland in front. This is Steve Schwartz and Dave Levine for WPPS TV3. Bringing you Portland Bulldog football, not just home games anymore.
Yeah, there was a legal formation penalty on South Portland that Portland did decline. So now it's going to be 2nd and 10, and I'm kind of wondering why they didn't accept that penalty to back them up a little bit. But I guess they're hoping their defense can hold from here.
Well,
that one they won't decline, though.
Late game against the Riots.
Yeah, they took a long time to get that play in. And then when they sent the receiver in motion, that took even longer to go, and then they just got hit with a delay of game penalty. So that's the 5 yards that Portland was kind of declined last time to get the one less down, and now you're still looking at 2nd and 15.
Jackson backs up and incomplete.
Yeah, that was a kind of a little fake play. He tried to roll out, come out, look like he was going to go to the left and then swing back around to the right and fire a ball there. But the pressure was coming up the middle, which forced him to kind of throw a little sidearm, and it didn't get to where he needed it to get to.
Which was Jordan Poole. Johnny Poole, rather.
Johnny Poole. I don't know if I were a quarterback, I'd throw to him a lot too.
Absolutely. 3rd and 15, though. The ball's on the 17. 9:42 left. So the clock stops once again.
Taking a long time again.
Called a timeout in order to avoid the penalty.
Yeah, they weren't ready for that. It took a long time for that play to come in, and you could see the back judge starting to count down the last 5 seconds.
So 9:42 left, 26 is the score in the third quarter. Dogs in front. And we are back again. We don't actually have ads, folks. So we are brought to you by the Portland Public Schools. Jackson back to throw. He's got one open in the end zone. Touchdown! Hobbs caught that.
Yeah.
What a beautiful pass.
Wani was in coverage, and he just couldn't get there in time. That was a beautiful pass, straight drop back. And that drive was all about the South Portland pass. They are really starting to throw the ball quite a bit. Looks like there's a Portland player that's injured.
Yeah, we're going to take a break, folks. So South Portland will try to convert as Kennedy Charles was helped off the field. It looked like he was holding his hamstring. 20-12 is the score. And that looks good. 20-13 is the score.
Point is good. 9:36. Left in the third quarter. It's Portland 20.
Yeah, so hopefully with Charles's injury, that's just a cramp or something minor. Keep him out of the punt or the kickoff return, and maybe he can come back as quarterback. That would be a huge loss for Portland if he goes down for any sort of time. Their offense runs through him, and without him back there, they're going to have to rely on the three-headed monster that is their run game, and hope that they can pick up the slack.
Yep, and they'll bring in probably Louis Thurston in that regard.
Absolutely.
Super sophomore quarterback. As Portland will be receiving here.
So that was the drive South Portland was looking for. They needed to come down, drive down, and score. Portland had them on the ropes a couple times and let them off the hook. So this made it a ball game again. If Portland had come up with a stop there and was able to come up with some sort of points, that could have put South Portland in a really, really big hole. But as it is, being down 7, we've got a ball game.
So kicking off is once again Brady Demers. Portland's got 4 deep. It's a squib. It's going to go out of bounds, and that will be a penalty.
Yep, that'll bring it out to the 40 that we just discussed last time.
I'm a fast learner, Dave. Well, kind of, since this is my umpteenth year doing this.
Yep, they brought in Aiden McGowan that time as the deep player for Charles.
It'll be interesting to see who actually comes out.
Oh, it looks like Portland is going to force a re-kick. And that's an interesting play. A re-kick here backs South Portland up. They can hope for a better return, but what it also does is it gives Charles a couple extra minutes to get better on the sideline. So if it is just a cramp out there, he can get some water in him, stretch out the leg, and this is just another couple minutes on the clock that he can relax. So they back him up 5 yards to the 35 to kick off again. And it's a re-kick. So you have McGowan and Wani deep.
Football is a chess match, folks. That's on the ground. 5 yards, 10 yards. Maybe a 15-yard return by Aiden McGowan.
Yeah, they got to the 41. So all of that picked up one extra yard of yardage, but it also took an extra couple minutes off the clock, off the world clock, to get Charles back, and it looks like he's coming back into the ball game.
Portland takes over first.
And he is.
41.
So it sounds like it was just a cramp, and that's a smart play by the coaching staff over there to decline the penalty. It all worked out. They've only gained 1 yard on it, but that's not what they needed. They needed the time for Charles to get back.
And they didn't lose anything on that great field position. So there you go. 1st and 10. Fake to Buck up the middle. And still going, probably about a 6 or 7 yard gain for Charles.
Yeah, they gave it right. He just kept it and went right up the gut. Picked up quite a few yards on that and showed no ill effects from the injury.
2nd and 4.
Getting credit for a 6 yard gain. 2nd and 4, the ball on the 47. Keeps it, goes to the right, finds a big hole, 1st down and more.
Yep, down to the 40-yard line again. Came right off the right on the right end, right tackle there, and just followed his blockers up the field. 2 keepers and 2 big pickups, and they've got 20 yards on that play, or those 2 plays, and they're still moving.
That's right. 13-yard gain for Charles there. 1st and 10. Ball on the South Portland 40. 8.5 minutes left here in the third quarter. 20-13 is the score as South Portland came back with that score. Charles back to throw, and he's going to go deep, just outside the outstretched arms of Remy Joe Wani.
Yeah, he really had that. I think he just lost it in tracking it. It was a beautiful throw, and really could have extended a little bit more to get that. But he had the defensive back beat. That's going to be a play that the coaching staff is going to put an asterisk by and come back to it again, because Remy Joe just blew by the defense and was wide open.
Stops the clock. 2nd and 10. Ball still on the 40. 8:14 left in the third quarter. Buck. There's a flag in the backfield. That'll be a hold, probably.
Yeah, they brought the tight end and a running back in motion over there. Gave it to Buck on the sweep, and just there was a hold in the backfield that's going to back them up, and those are those types of penalties that really hurt your drive, because instead of a second or third and medium, now you're talking second and a bundle.
Moves the ball back to the 47-yard line of the Bulldogs on the spot foul. 2nd and 23.
So that's a 13-yard holding penalty because the hold happened 3 yards deep in the backfield.
So 2nd and a gaggle of yards needed here. Charles keeps it. Bounces off for one. He fumbles. South Portland ball.
Yeah, he tried to make something out of nothing and really should have just held on to that ball and gone down. That was a bad play by Kennedy Charles.
Recovered by Ben Smith.
Yeah, exactly what South Portland didn't need. They were looking good. They had a good drive going. A penalty puts them behind the sticks a little bit, and trying to make a couple extra yards when you're talking 2nd and 24, 1 yard isn't going to make any difference. He should have just held on to the ball and gone down. So now Portland's defense, after getting kind of shown up on the pass, is going to have to start playing a little bit better. Let's see how they change a little bit. If they're going to put an extra DB in there, not drop the linebackers so close. We'll see.
So they take over on their own 48, 1st and 10. Fumble and recovered by Portland.
Gave it right back. They tried that inside pitch. Jackson tried to pitch it to the running back coming across, and it just didn't go well. They just missed the timing, it looked like. It was a good pitch, but the timing was way off, and Portland was right upfield to get the ball back, and that puts them back to where they were to begin with before the holding penalty and before we went through all this. So that's a big play for the Portland defense. They need to capitalize here, at least put together a 4 or 5 minute drive here and maybe put some points on the board. But they need this offense to do something and get back into rhythm.
And they actually, the ball's going to be on the 45 now. The ball went back a little bit. Charles with the ball on the right side. Gets the first down. There's a flag in the backfield, though.
Yeah, that's going to be another hold. And typically when you get a little tired, you start reaching and grabbing a little bit. And Portland is just continually shooting themselves in the foot. That's their 5th penalty this quarter. And that's a lot. They really have to start playing within themselves.
When the flag comes out late like that, is it an indication that it's a late hold after he's already gained those yards?
It could have been downfield a little bit. It depends on how quickly the ref decides to pull the flag and where they're going to place it. And you can see right here, it is less than a 10-yard penalty. So he was upfield a yard or two before that penalty flag did come out. So he had already made the corner.
So it's a spot foul, and that's a great way to read it. Thank you for that, Dave. It is 1st and 18. Ball's on the 47 of the Dogs.
So let's see if Portland can get a good playoff, get a couple yards. They don't have to get everything back in one chunk. They just need to work and get a couple yards here or there.
Well, there's Charles still with the ball. There's a flag this time coming from the other way.
Flag on the play.
Yeah, I'm not sure what this one was. That was the back judge that threw that flag.
A lot of officiating going on.
It was on the far side of the field that he was running, and the only thing I could think of is a face mask. And that's what it was. So it's a face mask on one of the dozen defenders that was in there. I mean, everyone from South Portland was trying to tackle Charles, and somebody just got a little grabby and got up into the face mask. That's going to be 15 yards from the end of the run, and then be a first down on top of that. That's going to set Portland up very nicely down inside the 20 somewhere.
Yeah.
Make it 1st and 10 for the
They're going to actually be just,
26
I guess, at the 26-yard line right now. Not quite in the red zone. 1st and 10. Charles keeps. And nothing doing that time as a great defensive effort there by Josh Lemure.
Yeah, Portland's going to have to do something a little different. They've been running Charles this whole half. Every play is going to him, and a little misdirection, a little something different is probably would be good. South Portland is clearly keying in on him now. Even the last run where he was able to get upfield for 15 yards, they saw it, they were there, they just couldn't make the play.
6.5 minutes left here in the third quarter, folks. 2nd and 11, ball on the 27. And we have a flag. So the Bulldogs having a little trouble getting a play off.
Yeah, that's the 6th penalty this quarter on them, and there's been at least 2 on South Portland. So the laundry is coming out a little bit more than what we'd expected, than what we saw in the first half.
from the South Portland 32.
So here we go, 2nd and 16. Brewer up the middle, spins, brought down. Nice gain though.
Yeah, there's that different play that I was talking about. You give it to Brewer. Brewer is fast and he's strong and was able to bust up the middle for about 10 yards, bringing it down to now third and 5, 3rd and 6, which is something that this offense is built for. They can get that 4 yards and then another couple in 2 plays. Obviously, they have no real kicking game, so they are going to go for it in this position. So they don't have to get everything all in one play.
Well,
And it looked like South Portland jumped a little bit.
yeah, they did.
And that's going to be 5 yards, and it's going to bring it down. That's going to be awfully close to another first down. They might be a half a yard short. And that's where they're going to put it. So it's going to be now 3rd and 1, and this is perfect position for Portland. I think this is another time when you hand it off to Brewer. Just let him do his thing, crash through the line, and get a yard or so. I think they're going to come out and measure. Or I don't know what they're doing. That's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to come out and measure. That was awfully, as I said, it was awfully close to a first down.
10 minutes to measure the ball.
So I think they're going to be short by about 2 lengths. That's my guess.
No, they're going to call it a first down. So
As I said, they were going to make it by 2 lengths.
So there you have it. It's a measurement worth taking, as it's going to be a 1st and 10 on the 16 for the Dogs.
With the joy of this being on replay, we can edit that out, and I can make myself sound smarter. So this is the drive that Portland was hoping to get. They're down to the 16-yard line. They're looking good. They got some good yardage there. Now it's time for Brewer and the rest of the other running backs maybe to make some hay.
See if we can get a playoff here. 1st and 10 on the 16. Charles loses his balance and goes low.
Charles on the keeper.
Yeah, fake the handoff to Brewer going left, and he went right, that little misdirection play, and picked up about 4 or 5 yards on the play. Again, a good chunk of yardage.
It'll be 2nd and 5 from the 11. As the clock ticks below 5 minutes in the 3rd quarter, 20-13 is the score. Dogs in front here in South Portland at the Battle of the Bridge. Nothing doing that time.
No.
Great swarming defense by the Riots. I think that was Brewer who took it.
Yeah, Brewer tried to go up the middle, and that defensive line said, "We're not having any more of this up the middle stuff." And they just stoned him at the line of scrimmage, even maybe dropped him for a 1-yard loss or so. So now you're looking at about 3rd and a solid 6.
Certainly territory where the Dogs will go for it.
Absolutely.
So 2 downs to make 6 yards. Charles hands it off to Bach.
Yeah, he got a couple on that to come upfield, and now they're looking at 4th and maybe 4, maybe 5, somewhere in that range. If nothing else, they were able to flip field position on this long drive. They've gotten a couple nice first downs. They've gotten a couple nice runs from everybody. Now's the time when that offensive line really has to fire out and try to move somebody off, get a little seam, and let one of those running backs come through.
Well, we'll see what they do as Portland wants to talk about it. So the Dogs will take a timeout with 3:21 left in the 3rd quarter. 2013, they are leading. So here we are coming off the timeout. It's 4th and 4. The Dogs have the ball on the 10. South Portland has showed themselves to be a formidable defense. And they have once again excellent effort, and once again the stopper, Jalen Jackson.
Jalen Jackson just shot the gap. That was a full linebacker run blitz where he just came firing through the hole, and there was nothing that Charles could do on that play. They just sent more people than they could block. I mean, that was a play where South Portland completely sold out on the run, and a little play action pass might have gotten an easy touchdown because there was nobody out wide. It was all single coverage.
A few minutes left here in the third quarter. It's 1st and 10. The ball is on the 12. Last time South Portland had the ball, it was a turnover. Immediately after the Portland turnover and into the backfield is Remy Giovanni.
So the exact same play that South Portland ran to blow up the Portland run was the exact same defense that Portland ran to blow up that run. Remy Giovanni came in from the linebacker position, came flying through and made the tackle in the backfield.
3-yard loss, the 2nd and 13, ball on the 9. Jackson over the middle. That has been a dog killer all night.
Yeah,
as McGowan on the tackle.
That's that same seam pattern that they've been running all night, a shallow slant, really. And there's nobody there that can make that stop, and it's just wide open. The linebackers are coming up close, and the DBs are having to stay a little soft to prevent a little bit something over their head, and it's just not working.
Hobbs comes to the sidelines, asks for a sub, but the trainer started to work with him, but it looks like he just needs some water here, and he's going to stretch his cramped leg. 1st and 10, 26. Whew, is he fast, Jackson?
Jalen Jackson on the run.
Yeah, Braylon Wales again in there on the ankles, but not before Jackson got about 6 yards again. They're picking up some pretty good chunks again, and if they showed last drive that they were able to mix the pass and the run together to really keep the Dogs' defense guessing a little bit. So what the Dogs are going to have to do is come up with a play here and force South Portland to actually go into a look that they can decipher.
Another nice effort. It doesn't. Let's see.
That's going to be a first down.
It is going to be the first down. It's going to move the chains.
He got the 4 yards he needed. Andrew Brewer made the tackle.
Another Red Riot. First down.
Riots were backed way up inside their own territory, and they've actually moved the ball nicely to get out of the shadows, really, of their end zone. And now they're starting to put a drive together that, again, if there's any indication from what they had it last time, they're really got the Dogs on their heels.
1st and 10, ball and 38. Nice effort there, defensive effort.
On the keeper.
And credit for that, among others, is number 53, Henry Spencer. It's 2nd and 10 now.
Yeah. So Portland was able to get off their blocks and not let Jackson make any move. That's the key to this. They can't let the offensive line bully them into a position and open up the holes. If they can be disciplined and stay in their lanes, they'll be okay.
Poole is just clobbered.
That was a complete run blitz right there. They just sold out and made the tackle.
I'm going to call that the law firm of Al-Ghafaji and Kelly.
Yeah, Gavin Bennett was in there too.
30 minutes.
So now you're looking at 3rd and 9, where really you force them into that passing situation. So they're going to be more one-dimensional here. The backs are going to have to be on their best behavior as we go to the fourth quarter.
So here we go. That throwing down. Oh my goodness! Over Johnny Poole.
Yeah, went for Johnny Poole. Aiden McGowan was in deep coverage, came off his man and came flying upfield. And even if Poole makes that catch, he's probably going to be stopped short. But that short might have been close enough for that South Portland would go for it. But now sitting at 4th and 9 from their own 40-ish yard line, that's not a play where they're going to go for it. Portland needs to stay disciplined here. Can't get into any penalty or an offsides or anything.
Once again, a whistle. Just for ball placement.
So Portland with 2 deep.
High snap. Gets off, end over end. Takes a nice South Portland bounce. Well, that was...
Yeah, that was a great kick.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it went really far. What was worrisome is whether it was going to touch Remy Joe.
Yeah,
it was recovered by Colin Banks.
Yeah, Wani got awfully close to that, and they've got to. When the ball is bouncing like that, it can go any direction. So it's best just to run away, not try to make any silly play like that. But Portland got the ball back, but South Portland did flip the field on them, and now they're starting this way down inside their own 30-yard line. So they've got a ways to go with 11:47 left to go here. So let's see if they can put together another long drive and maybe get some points out of it.
1st and 10, ball's on the 26. Buck with the ball. Tries to find some daylight, and he does. He is off to the races, folks. He's got one to beat.
Wow.
And he just steps out of bounds. Oh, my goodness.
So I said there was no one on the field that could catch these two quarterbacks when they're at full speed. I submit Mr. Buck into that conversation because when he turned the corner and accelerated, he was pulling away from defenders. That was a huge, huge carry by Regan Buck. Didn't look like there was going to be anything on the side. He was just stayed patient, and then eventually when he got to the sideline, was able to just race up the field.
49 yards. I'm going to call that a 50-yard gain there for Mr. Buck. 1st and 10, ball on the 25. Kennedy Charles keeps it. Well, he's elusive, but he can't escape 4 riots.
No, that was just too much. That was just too much there. They're still running outside a little bit.
Timeout on the field.
And it looks like he's down again.
So, folks, we're going to take a timeout. 11:23 left in the 4th quarter here. The score, Portland Bulldogs 20, the Red Riots 13. So, Kennedy Charles taken off the field. 2nd and 10, ball on the 25. Thurston in. He'll hand off to Brewer, who spins. A nice effort.
Yeah, that's that quick hitter play just to get some yardage, and that's the second time we've seen Brewer make a nice spin move after first contact and get a couple extra yards, setting up 3rd and 3.
Let me just say that the stop was once again made by Jalen Jackson, and show of sportsmanship. There's been a great show of sportsmanship by both of these teams throughout this game.
They really has been, and when players are down or players get tackled, everybody's helping everybody else up. They've been really, really friendly and in such a bitter rivalry that they've had. It's great to see the sportsmanship on both sides.
3rd and 3, ball in the 18. And we're going to have a timeout, Portland. So we'll take one too. 10:22 left here in the 4th quarter. 2013 is the score. We'll be back. Okay, coming off the timeout. And Charles is back in. Brewer with the ball, and he's going to get the first down.
That's a smart play to keep. They brought Charles back in. I mean, he's just cramps up, and he gets a little tired. I mean, they use him a lot, so he never comes off the field. He's playing defense, he's playing offense, and sometimes you just need a break. Nice play by Brewer to get the first down. He knew what he needed to get, so he really just put his head down and plowed through the line. Wasn't looking to bust it open or take it for a touchdown. He just needed that first down.
He got it, and it's now on the 10. Brewer once again up the middle.
And this might be the offense now. Get 4 or 5 yards every carry with Brewer. Let that offensive line just fire out and get a couple yards and just pound this into the end zone. That's what they need to do with 3:30 or 9:30 left in the game. Leading by a touchdown. This is a crucial point in the game for Portland. A touchdown really can put this out of reach with the way their defense has been playing.
2nd and 5. Brewer up the middle this time.
That time, not much.
And he was hugged and brought down by Alex Dobson and company.
Yeah, they tried to run the right side that time instead of the last two kind of went center or left.
Jackson in on that as well. Loss of a yard. 3rd and goal. Ball on the 6.
Everything gets compressed a little bit down here in the end zone.
Buck looks to go outside, and he cannot fool the defenders that time.
Yeah, that was just no one was able to hold the edge, and the Riot defenders just kind of strung that out too much. And now you're looking at 4th and goal from the 10-yard line after a very, very promising drive. They tried to do something a little bit different and go outside instead of really hammering it up the middle, and now they're looking at a passing situation.
And, I just have to say that, Jalen Jackson is explosive, and they have a passing game in South Portland.
Yes, they do.
But Kennedy Charles right now too far.
Yeah, he rushed that throw. He had time. He had time to make the throw to set his feet, but he rushed it a little bit, didn't wait for his receiver to get open.
So South Portland will take over on downs on their own 11-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10, 7:50 left here as the clock ticks away, although it's stopped for a moment. 20-13 is the score. The Portland Bulldogs are leading at the moment, but you do not count a South Portland team out.
No,
ever.
Their offense has shown explosiveness today. They had a nice drive at the beginning of this half where they actually went to the pass a little bit more and they were running a little bit more, very balanced, and it looked like they would just move right down the field with ease.
So here we go. Rolling to the right, and a sack and a fumble. And Charles is going to run it in, and that is going to be, well, we'll see if they're going to rule him down, because there's no indication of a touchdown yet. And I dare say there's no indication of a fumble yet.
So I don't know if the ground caused the fumble. So there was no pass there. It was a tackle. The only question is, did he lose the ball when he hit the ground or before he hit the ground? They're going to call intentional grounding on a throw that didn't look like a throw. I'm not sure how you call that a pass.
Well,
it was clearly grounding if you are going to call it a pass, but that's very, very questionable.
Well, Coach McLeod is not happy.
No, I don't blame him on this. That was clearly in that he lost the ball going down. They're just saying that his arm was somehow coming forward. So that's going to be a spot foul and loss of down. And the ball's going to be placed somewhere inside the 5. But that's huge for South Portland, where it really looked like it was a fumble and a touchdown. But now they're faced with
Ball is at
second and virtually 20.
And again, another nice play by Remy Jowani.
Yeah, he got about 2 yards on that play. That's a good play by Remy Joe to come up and make the tackles, forcing third and very long. Again, now you're looking at either a passing situation to try to get this first down, which I don't know if you really have a play to get there, or maybe just get a little bit more yardage for your punt team and not make a mistake. But these defenders have to watch out for anything because, again, Jackson is very fast and can break one open at any time.
3rd and 17, ball on the 4. Let's see what happens.
Handoff.
Yeah, there's a hole, and the tackle is...
So that's what they did. They just bought some yardage for their punting unit, brought them out to about the 10-yard line, and that gives them a little bit of breathing room for this punt. But again, with the way the punts have been going, this should set the Dogs up in great field position.
That was McGowan and Viola on the stop. Remy Jowani is going to be deep, as is Kennedy Charles. Oh, nice pressure there. Oh, remember, Joe fumbles, and we'll see if he recovers it. He does.
Yeah, that's what they couldn't afford to do. Remy Joe came up on that, and he probably should have called for a fair catch, which would have given him all the time in the world to make that play, but didn't. And I think he was hearing the footsteps of some of those gunners coming down the field. So Portland is set up well. They're going to be set up at the 37-yard line.
And it will be 1st and 10. 6 minutes left, folks. 20-13 is the score.
So Portland's offense has gotten close a couple times, but they haven't been able to punch it in.
Buck on the left side. He finds a hole. Well, he got a little something out of nothing, really, by cutting.
Yeah, again, there's two guys. There's one blocker out there. Brewer is out there trying to block. He did make one, but there's two defenders out there, and that's awfully tough for a running back to make it through. They've tried it outside like that a couple times and haven't had any luck. There's something changed with the blocking, or something changed with the way South Portland is defending it, not allowing Portland to get outside now.
The big game for the Dogs if they can win, because these two teams are tied at number 2 with Crabtree points.
Yeah, there's a lot riding on this game for these two teams and Massabesic and other teams that are in there. The winner of this game could be the number 1 seed. The loser could move all the way down to number 4.
We don't know what Massabesic's doing, but we know that the order is Massabesic is 1 at 5 and 2. Portland and South Portland are tied for 2. Portland at 4 and 3. South Portland 5 and 2. Then Biddeford, Kennebunk, Marshwood, Gorham, Noble, and Deering is in last place here at 1 and 6.
So you're looking at 3rd and 1. This is, again, they're going to go for it in 4 down territory. So this, I would think, would be a nice Brewer run.
And you are correct. He bounces off of his man. And let's see.
He stumbled a little bit. I'm not sure where it is. It's going to be 4th and probably a yard, maybe half a yard. Yeah, he bounced off and wasn't able to get his feet quick enough. And if he had gotten his feet, he would have been okay and been able to get upfield. But at least he didn't lose any yardage on that to keep this fourth and really, really short. So now's the time of your offensive line with 3:51 to go. This is really the play of the game right now. If they get this first down, they can chew up another couple minutes of the clock. They don't make it. South Portland has got the ball at the 30.
Here comes Charles. And there's a flag in the backfield.
Wow. Again, more flags on the field. That's a tough call.
I'd like to be a manufacturer of yellow flags.
It's going to be on Portland again. That's really a tough call to make on a 4th and 1 play with the game in the balance. That's another holding call. So now that puts the Dogs way behind now. They're looking at 4th and 10 with 3:35 to go. They're going to have to go to a passing game of some sort. Or do you punt here and force Portland to run the length of the field?
Yeah, right, South Portland. And why not?
No, Portland, yeah.
And that's what they're going to do, I think.
So the first time all game, Portland is going to punt.
Kind of a wobbly.
It's a good punt.
Yeah, it is. It is good. Takes a little bit of a Portland bounce. It'll be down on the 16-yard line. So.
Yeah, it's exactly what Portland needed as a punt, but that holding call on a first down run really changed the aspect of this game. And with 3 minutes and 6 seconds, South Portland has a chance to go the field and score. They have 2 timeouts, so and plenty of time with their way the passing game was moving when they wanted to pass. They can chew up some chunks of yards pretty quick. Portland defense has got to play tough.
So here we go. South Portland backed up. I don't think that phases Jalen Jackson. He's back to throw. He's looking deep. Too far. That was meant for Ben Smith.
Yeah, they tried Ben
step by step.
Yeah, they tried
by Hunter Temple.
They tried a post pattern with Ben Smith. He was just trying to run up the field and get a step. And with one-on-one coverage, was decent coverage there, forcing an overthrow. Stops the clock again with 3:01. So again, this defensive backfield for Portland is going to be targeted here because I think they're going to go all pass. 3 wide with a tight end.
Jackson goes back. He's got some pressure. No.
Underthrew.
Short.
Yeah, he had pressure there, and that's really what changed that play. The pressure forced him to throw it short. Receiver couldn't get back in time for that, and forces up 3rd and long now.
How you doing?
When he stays in the pocket, he seems to be very effective because they can get the blocking set. They can prevent that pressure coming in and give him time to really uncork it. When he's on the move a little bit, he's a little less accurate, as most people are.
Except for Mahomes. Here we go.
bobbled the ball, went deep, went on that seam pattern, but everything was all kind of, timing was screwed up when he bobbled that snap. Just couldn't get his hands on it.
4th and 10.
So it's going to be 4th and 10.
Yeah, that was it, looking for Jerome Veda.
2:50 left here in the regulation of this fourth quarter.
So they've run 3 plays and really only taken 15, 20 seconds off the clock. And this is fourth down and 10 from their own side of the field. They have to really go for it. They don't have a choice with the way Portland's offense has been been able to chew up the clock a little bit.
Well, this is going to be a very, very important play here.
So the DBs are a little soft, but they have to keep an eye on that 10-yard cushion. South Portland takes their second timeout of the half.
And we will too. 2:50 left. 2013 Dogs in front. Here we go.
All right, now they get a safety. They have a safety help. Again, single coverage across the board with a single high safety.
And it looks, well, we'll see. Portland thinks
everyone's pointing at everybody.
Yep.
The entire Portland line jumped, but I think they were moving because South Portland moved. So that's going to back them up 5 and make this a 4th and 15. That's a big penalty.
4th and 15 from the 11.
So this is where you still know it's a pass. Your DBs have to be careful, know where the sticks are, let anything catch it in front of them, rally and make a tackle.
So Jackson goes deep.
Incomplete on the sideline.
So 2:43 left here.
Yeah, I think he caught it on the bounce. There were 2 defensive backs over there, and again, that's what I was talking about with the safety could come over and help. So the pass was down the sideline. He had good coverage, but the safety was able to range over and make that a much more difficult play. Now Portland is sitting pretty with 2:43 left. 1 first down really can end this game. South Portland only has 1 timeout. So here's where you want to just run, and hopefully get a first down and end this.
And that's what happens once.
And South Portland's going to take their last timeout.
So, folks, 2.5 minutes left. South Portland just took its last timeout, as Dave Levine told you. 2nd and 9, ball on the 10. And that is a nifty run.
Yeah, Brewer took it up the side there and got a 3rd and 4. Clock is moving at 2:15, so Portland's going to try to chew up every last second of this that they can use up. They'll run it again, which will bring the clock, if they don't get a first down, somewhere under, probably down to like 1:20 when they need to snap the ball again. So Kennedy Charles is going to watch the back judge with his hand up in the air, and as soon as that hand goes up, he's going to snap it. And that's another 2.5, maybe 3 yards to bring up 4th down. That was Brewer. Clock down to 1:34 and counting. They can bring this down to, if they run it again, they'll probably bring it down to about 1:10, 1:15 on the clock. They need 2 yards for the game.
Ball's on the 3. Long snap, long count.
And they're going to call timeout. That's a smart play. The coach took every last second off the clock. You did get a defender to jump, but he didn't. But nothing happened. No one moved, and he was able to get back on sides. So with 1:06, Portland is looking for 2 yards to win.
So a lot riding on this now. 4th and 2, ball on the 3. Brewer inside. And
he is down, it looks like, at the goal line.
He's going to get a first down out of it.
He's going to get a first down, and that's going to end the game. Portland is going to kneel this out at the 1 yard line and sneak away with a 20-13 victory. Huge run by Andrew Brewer. He took the last 4 runs and got all the yardage he needed. The clock is going to start as soon as they spot the ball. Clock is running. Portland is just going to wait for it to come down, and they'll take a knee.
This is a game that you know well, Dave.
Yes, it is.
This is going to do it for the Battle of the Bridge. We're going to wrap up for you now. Buck with a huge night tonight. Brewer with a huge night. Kennedy Charles, he had those 2 52-yard runs, including one for a touchdown, a 22-yard run for a touchdown as well. And
he threw another ball to Wani in the corner at the end of the half.
22 yards there.
22-yard pass to Wani. So that offense, again, not as dynamic as they were last week, but again, the running game really came through with big, huge chunk plays. Their defense allowed only 13 points. Again, their defense is really coming to play. And as I said at the beginning of the game, I thought that's what was going to do it for them. South Portland, again, Jackson was the man. He ran wild at points. He threw wild at points. But in the end, they just didn't have enough firepower to keep up with the Portland offense.
So that's going to be a wrap for us here from South Portland. The final score, 20-13, as the Dogs win the 100-and-somethingth Battle of the Bridge. This is Steve Schwartz along with Dave Levine from Mike Hoffer saying so long from South Portland. We'll see you next time. Good night.